Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade. Today we're going to be taking a look at a short wave pattern here on the NASDAQ. First target coming off at 61.25, second target coming off at 56.5. We're going to go a little bit above that here at 57.25. And then the final target, you have an option. You can either go to 45.53, or you could just stack the final targets up on 57.25. It's personal choice for that one. Outside of this, everything is looking pretty strongly to the downside, so I will try to see if I can get that big move down to 53, but everything else looking pretty straightforward here. So we have a beautiful wave pattern test right inside the trigger zone. Immediate reaction right back down again. BMT coming right in the mix as well, getting a beautiful test of that as well. So everything looking really, really good to the downside. We've been seeing quite a bit of bearishness so far this morning. Nice, big, strong push down. Just looking for that continuation to push it down even farther and looking for a further move down. So first target coming off at 61.25 from our entry. We're looking at taking 2.5 points off there. The next target coming off a little bit farther down here at 57.25. That's going to be 6.5 points. And then the final push down to 53. That's going to be 10.75 points. Now, if you're not familiar with the NASDAQ ticks just like the S&P in quarter point increments like that. So that means that every point is 4 ticks, right? So if we add these all up, 2 at 2.5 is 5. Plus another 6.5, plus 10.75 times 4, right? 4 ticks in a point is 89 ticks. Now the NASDAQ ticks at $5 a tick, so that's $445 if we can get them all filled. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Just waiting to see a little bit more continuation. We got that first target taken out relatively easily. Now, with the movement that we're seeing so far this morning, you are able to go right to break even if you want to. Or if you want to be a little bit more conservatively and see how much you can trail out of it, you can trail the BMT on the way down just to see if that'll hold you into a trade. So a couple different options here. The BMT is at 75, so we can go to 65.5, right? And we'll just kind of trail it all along the way down here and see if we can pull out a nice bigger move here. But again, that's the concept, right? You can go to break even if you want. If you want to be, more along the lines of a count building scenario, or if you would like, you can always drop your stop and leave it right here at 66.25. Or primarily, you can wait until this low is broken, right? 59.75 has yet to break. Once we break that level, then you can go to break even after seeing that kind of commitment from the sellers, right? We just saw them come back and they would have stopped you out at break even, and now they're turning straight back down again. So you can tell a lot of people got swung out of that. Definite stop run right there at 63.75. Now, because of that information, we can just use that swing high, right? 64.75 will go right there. Once we break below the low, then we can move it to break even if we would like, or knowing that they ran some stops right here at the break even level at 63.75, we can just leave it right here at 64.75. So looking for the next target at 57.25, and then looking for that final push down to see if we can get down to that 53 area and get that full size runner to the downside. All right, getting some bearish pressure here, and there we go. We got that target filled. So now because we have that target filled, again, we really don't want to give anything back. So now we can go to break even +1. Not a big problem there. We could also utilize this last little bouncing area. You'll notice right inside here, caught a little bit of pressure along this last little swing low. And that little bit of pressure that we saw there, honestly, you could use that to trail your stop right down along with it. Now, that would be quite aggressive. And since we're looking for such a big move, I don't really want to be too aggressive because I don't want to get out of the trade too soon. But just giving different options here. You've got the cloud that you can trail. You've got prior swings that you can trail. You've got the BMT. You've got all kinds of stuff that you can utilize. I'm going to leave my stop at break even for now, pending more information. And as we get more information, then we might adjust that a little bit. But next target coming off at 53. All right, so we came one tick away from our target, so we want to lock in a little bit here. So 45, 55, 75, that's going to be the stop, and we're just going to lock this in. We don't want to see this really continue any farther. You could even give it a little bit more room and say 45, 58 back here the last time we saw some bouncing. It's definitely an option. Since we specifically tested our target, then you want to lock it in. Yeah, there we go. We got that filled. So that whole move down really happened all in one shot. Now, obviously, we love it when that happens, but it doesn't happen every time. Parabolic movement like that does tend to show itself a little bit more in the NASDAQ than some other markets, but really 4 contracts is all you need. Beautiful move down. Even if you traded 1 contract, you still got 2.5 points. That's not a bad move by any means, but we pulled out 10 3/4 points on that final runner, $445 on the trade. Again, at $5 a tick, that's 89 ticks total. So beautiful move to the downside, doing exactly what we were looking for. So that's going to be the trade. It may continue a little bit lower, but we got our chunk of meat out of it, and that's going to be good enough for us. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com, and as always, we'll catch you next time.